Welcome, everyone, to Radiant Leaders, a virtual summit. My name is Kindred. I am one of the founders of radiantleaders.org. And this has been really a dream of mine for years. Probably 3 years ago, I received this intuitive download to start a nonprofit. And it's hard. Well, hard. It took time to find that team to work with. And I found the team, and you're going to meet them later today. I'm super excited about that. And there's always a timing to things. It taught me patience. It taught me, how I receive intuition, because I received that message and then I want to act. I'm someone who likes to act quickly. I'm an entrepreneur. I receive guidance and I take that action quickly. But when you are building a nonprofit, you need other people with you. You can't just build it by yourself. And so it took time, and I constantly received an intuitive guidance, every couple months, just that nice, gentle message again. I'm someone who, speaks more and more. I've created a radio show called The Dawn of Intuition, Awaken to a New Way of Being, where I speak about using intuition, how, I usually have a lot of, I teach through storytelling. So I share a lot of stories about how to live an intuitive life in business, personally, um, with more ease and joy, which I'm a super big advocate for, a balanced life for entrepreneurs. Anytime I work with clients, my homework that I give them, homework is never to do more work. It's to do more self-care, relax more, spend more time with their partners, their loved ones, in nature. This is one of my biggest messages that I like to share. I'm also a speaker on Insight Timer, where I will log in, and hundreds of people at a time will come in and just ask me anything about intuition. So it's a really informal Q&A. And really, I invite anyone who's watching today to follow me on Insight Timer as well. If you really want to have live interactive dialogue with me every time we do a live, I have no idea the topic. I have no idea what we're going to talk about. And it's just really fun, really fun. I receive all these messages and receive all these ideas and stories, and I just share these stories. And we never know our impact. We never know, how what we say to someone or our actions, how it can be inspiring or helpful to another. So you guys are visionaries, entrepreneurs, and we're drawn to this summit for a reason. Just a little bit of background. Who am I? Why did I start this? So I am actually the owner of a language school. And I started this language school in 2011. And it was from, market demand. People would just ask me, like, I want to practice speaking English. Can you help me? And was like, oh, you want to pay to talk to me? I couldn't believe it. People were like, yes, I would. And so from then I was really conscious of the need and the demand. And so I strategically started a school, a language school. And I've been doing that ever since. But I started with zero entrepreneurial experience. I didn't know what I was doing. I started it in a part of Canada, where I didn't even speak language, which was the French. I didn't speak, the government of Quebec had all of their documents only in French. They refused to have anything in English. And so I really did my best. But I speak a lot about how I grew. I grew from 0 to 6 figures in an intuitive way. And I share my stories through over a decade of experience in my book. And I want to just share with anyone who doesn't know, who hasn't heard about this book. It's called, you'll see it. Yeah, so it's called Intuitive Business Connections: Grow a Business from 0 to 6 Figures in an Intuitive Way. And you can find this on Amazon through the States, the Canada, and a few other Amazons around the world. There's Kindle, you can print. And I actually had a foreword by Ivan Meisner, and he's the founder of Business Network International, BNI. So I even read a chapter about the importance of networking, the importance of connections worldwide, the importance of communication, conversation. And I also, the beginning part of this book, I talk about the importance of intuition, how important it is to follow our intuition in business. So today's topic is intuition as a compass in business, and how can we use our intuition in business to make decisions with more ease? All of the biggest CEOs regularly talk about. They may not use the word intuition, but they may use gut instincts, hunches, insights. It doesn't matter the exact term you use, but it's important to know how you specifically receive intuition. And there's different ways, there's different clairs, as we say, like clairsentient, clairaudient, clairvoyant, ways you can clear see, clear hear, clear smell, clear feel. Some people receive just a strong feeling of an action they need to take, and they take action on it. Others maybe are very creative and they see an image or a vision of their future project. Maybe that's your way. For me, I consider myself more clairaudient. So I receive an audible message, very like neutral, non-judgmental. And that's how I received the message from my book, Intuitive Business Connections. I was walking in the forest one day and I received a very clear message. Write a book. The title is Intuitive Business Connections. I was like, brilliant. Anytime I say brilliant, like, what a great idea. I know that's not my logic. I know this is my intuition coming through. And I always consider that intuition is living in the fast track. Logic is very slow, very limiting. Whereas living with intuition is very fast, very instant, and I find very accurate if we trust it, if we learn to develop the confidence in our intuition. And I really want that for all the visionaries and entrepreneurs and CEOs who are watching this or who will watch this in the future. There's a few different topics I want to talk about today from my book. And the one chapter was called The Importance of Values. So as entrepreneurs, as you may know, it's important to have a foundation of our biggest values to live by. So, and to make sure they're in alignment. If you say, my family is my biggest value, and yet you're working 12-hour days, you're not congruent. You're not living in alignment with your values. And so it's important to know, maybe for you, you may be single, living alone, and right now your value is success, and there's no judgment. There's great. And so making sure, if you decide to sabotage or watch TV or procrastinate, well, is that living in alignment with your value of achievement and success and also there's also seasons in a year. We can go through, as entrepreneurs, I read books like The Roller Coaster of Entrepreneurship, and all these books, like it's a journey, it's a roller coaster. We have highs, we have lows. There's some seasons, there's seasonal work, where my company is making the profits, and then there's some months where it's dead. And to just understand that and accept that and know that we as humans are in seasons, Mother Earth is in seasons, and our business is also seasonal at times. And so to take a moment, for anyone listening, like really take a moment and really focus and know your values personally as an entrepreneur or business owner, and also your values as a company. And to make that known, put it on the website. Do your employees know your personal values? Do your employees know the company values? This is really important. I've worked, not really worked, because I volunteer. I like to volunteer. So I volunteered for people before, and they say, oh, we really value your opinion, JD. We really value your ideas. Great. Okay. I have lots of creative ideas. I want you to be successful. I want to help. I'm just here to serve. And I share my ideas, I share my insights, and they would be criticized and critiqued. And it was like, oh, I quickly learned, you know, they're not really aligned with their values, because they say they want something but they really don't. And for me, I really would take I'd go back and go, oh, it's not safe for me to share my ideas and my creativity. So I'm curious, maybe in your business, do you have employees who have so much wisdom to share, so much insight and guidance? And maybe there's some people who are a lot more intuitive or tapped into their intuition more than you are as the business owner. But do you give them a space, a safe space to speak and open up and share? Because at a business meeting, there's so much wisdom, so much wisdom. If it's a safe place to share that wisdom. So I just kind of wanna ask this question, ask that question. Do you also create time to live your values? Maybe your value is health or wellness. Do you put yourself in your schedule? A lot of times we as entrepreneurs, we put ourselves last in our schedules. And I'm here to say no, like the beginning of the year, we need to put our days off, our vacations, our self-care in our schedule first. Because if we as an entrepreneur are not okay, we cannot be of service. One client I teach, he's a manager, a young guy, and he's a manager of 400 employees. And for me, I perceive him as he's managing like 400 families, not managing, but he's almost responsible. That salary supports 400 families. This is a huge, huge responsibility. And if he's sick or if he cannot show up to work, that has a huge ripple effect for lots of people. And so it's important to take care of ourselves as entrepreneurs. And I'm always speaking about that. When I was starting my company, I was working, these 12-hour days. And I was making a lot less than I'm making now. Now I'm able to do these summits and create new projects and create new companies and do new things and meet new people and go travel. And I'm making more than I was when I was really, really burning myself out. And so I like to remind entrepreneurs to take care of themselves. Take care. And what does that look like? Really becoming more in alignment with your values. For me, I have a huge value of freedom, more than money. And that's not, money is great. Money's energy and an energy exchange. Money is amazing. Money's great. And I rather have more time and freedom in my life than money. So I've made sure I've created that lifestyle for myself. I have this belief system that we can always earn more money, create more money in our life, but we cannot earn more time. We cannot have more time. And so for me, that's really precious. But what are your values? I encourage you to take a moment and ask, what are your values? Another chapter in my book is the definition of success. Society may have an idea of what success looks like. This kind of car, this size of house, this prestigious education from a prestigious school, what our parents told us, what our teachers told us, what our friends think. We have maybe an idea of what we think success is. But I want to encourage you to stop, close your eyes, and really look inward. How do you know if you are successful? Again, it goes from our values. For me, success is not necessarily about money. It's about how much time and freedom do I have. For me, I've created a location independent company. It's online. I've moved my company 100% online. I can literally hop in a plane, go anywhere, and still run my company. And I feel like that is extremely valuable. There isn't a price for that. I can go volunteer in the jungle. I can go to a retreat for self-care and work a couple hours a day and still be able to continue my company and to be able to do summits like this. So for me, I define my definition of the success when I first started my company. I had a cap. I want to work this many hours a week maximum and earn this amount. And I achieved that and more. For me, that was so big when I first started my company. And because I also deep down had a fear of success, I had a fear that my company would grow too big and it'd be too successful and I would lose the value of freedom and time. So I want you to really reflect what you're doing right now with your company. Are you burning yourself out? Are you living in alignment with your values? Are you defining yourself as successful? Really, like, are you proud of what you've accomplished in your life? And if that is being the best parent possible, well, that's pretty amazing accomplishment. It's amazing. So it doesn't necessarily have to be about, having this many employees or this many sales in a year. It's really, how do you define success based on your values? Another thing I love to talk about is in a chapter is daily habits that change everything. Now, one of my companies, I started a few companies now, and one of the companies I've created is called Intuitive Business Connections. It's based on my book, and I create wellness retreats for busy, burnt out professionals or mothers or fathers at home, or just people who are really burnt out and they need to reset, recharge their batteries, recenter. And in the week, I incorporate so many techniques, yoga techniques, breathing techniques, meditation techniques. We do coaching, one-to-one private coaching. And we do coaching on really all aspects of your life. As an entrepreneur, if you're physically not at your optimum, then it's going to affect all areas of your life. Mentally, if you're not okay, it's going to affect every area of your life. So we really have a global view and picture during coaching on different aspects of the wellness wheel. Really, are you really balanced in all aspects? And then we look at the few that are need to be worked on, and we really dive deep into those. And throughout my retreat, I offer, different foods and different philosophy and different books to read and different homework and perceptions and all of these things. And I always tell people, okay, let's create an action plan. So when you go home, you are clear on your action plan. But you don't have to do it all. If there's just a few things you take home with you. So I love giving the analogy of the pilots. There's a plane, and while they're flying, they make a small deviation, just a small correction to their destination. They're going like this small change, but if they keep going, they drastically end at two very different locations. And so I love reminding people about all we need to do is a little shift, little 1% shift, for example, even a 1% better every day, that whole shift, that whole quote, little shift. And in a decade from now, where will our health be? Where will our finances be? Where will our business be? By these small daily changes. So when I had my business coach, he always told me, how many books are you reading? He gave me a lot of homework about personal, professional development, because he goes, if you want your business to be different a year from now, you better be a completely different person to be able to run that company. And it was a really good reminder. I need to equally work on myself as much as I work on my company to grow. I need to grow. My company can only grow to the level of my own growth. And it's a hard thing to accept. And so I constantly working on myself and trying to better and improve myself to be able to attract and magnetize more and more abundance with ease, and clients that I really resonate with me, who I love working with, and a team that I have, it just is flows and it's flawless. The more I am connected to myself, and then the more sensitive I am to the team that I want to create and the clients I want to have and the companies that I want to start. So I really encourage that for you. These small daily actions really could be small. For me, it's is changing my diet. I was really a lot more unhealthy than I am now. And it would decrease, food drastically decreases my energy levels and my mood, my mental. I would become if I eat poorly, I become a lot more negative and irritable and unmotivated than when I'm eating really strong, beautiful, healthy foods that have this energy. People are, JD, how do you're so energetic. Well, I need to really make sure I take care of myself because I did not have this energy before when I was younger. And then, personal development, professional development. I read at least an hour every day on ways to improve myself or my company. And can you imagine that's, instead of an hour, people are like, I don't have time. But again, it's this. Once I did a calculation with a client, and it's like, well, do you go on social media for an hour a day, or do you watch TV for an hour a day? And most adults say yes to more than an hour a day. Naturally, we can get lost online easily for an hour. And that is 365 hours in a year just by 1 hour, but double, that's, you know, over 700 hours. Well, in that time, you could learn a language. You could learn another language. In my book, I talk a lot about the importance of communication, the importance of connecting to other cultures. For me, you could be, the most successful doctor in the world. But if you're not able to connect and speak to your clients, then you're not able to help someone else. For me, I'm really big in communication and being able to speak with other people, to be able to help them. So I really encourage you again to reflect on these little daily habits you can change. For me, it's taking care of myself physically, um, going outside at the end of the day, being outside in nature. I receive a lot of guidance when I slow down, a lot of great business guidance. I was just speaking with one of the summit participants, Shraddha, and her whole talk was skyrocket your business with ease. And it's really about, skyrocket. It doesn't have, listening to yourself, connecting back to your intuition. She's India's intuition expert. And we say the same things, receive these messages, receive our guidance, and then take this inspired action where we all have the same message. And that's what I love this summit is I'm inviting some of my favorite coaches from around the world because we have a lot of the same message of listen to that intuitive guidance, that knowledge, that inner wisdom that you have, that inner compass guiding you. So I started, my online language school. I shifted, I positioned in 2020 when I needed to be more online and go global. And so now I can have classes with someone in Paris. There was a class where there was a grandfather in Paris and the grandson was in Canada. They got to take a class together. Like the sky is the limit now because I was able to position quickly and really just work intuitively with I speak a lot about working intuitively through business and through networking events. You go to networking events, who am I drawn to? I did a whole talk. I was invited to be a speaker at the World Happiness Summit in San Jose, Costa Rica this year. And I did a whole talk about one of my chapters called Who Are You Drawn to? And about networking. There's hundreds of people at a networking event, and our time is so limited and so precious. Where do we feel drawn? Who do we feel drawn to? And that's just how I have to choose what networking events to go to and how I am during a networking event. I remember going like, okay, I need a sale. Like this is a beginning years ago in my company. I need a sale this month. And I went into this event and I walked up to someone, and usually to work with companies, it takes months to meet someone, and HR needs to approve, and it's a process. It's a few month process before signing a contract. But that day I walked in and I was guided to someone. I started speaking to him, and he said, "I was looking for you. I need classes. I received a grant. It's already approved. Let's start next week." And I was so shocked by it all. And it was great. It was exactly what I needed at that time. And I just kind of surrendered of like, okay, this is what I need. I need a contract. And I just let myself really be guided to make that happen. And I didn't have to struggle. Back in the day, I would struggle so much. I would put so much effort into growing my company. And did it bring more sales? No, not necessarily. So I'm learning to be more in surrender, to be to to work with more ease. This is something you're going to hear a lot of in the summit. We don't have to struggle so much. We can attract the clients that we need. We can be guided. When I'm meditating or on vacation, I can receive amazing guidance or sign contracts just as easily as if I'm sitting in front of my computer and trying to make something work. I don't want you guys to always try swim up the river. Sometimes we need just to let go and let the river just bring us to our desired destination. I have this huge belief system that our intuition is there, it's higher, it's a higher, are part of our higher selves, and it just wants the best for us, and it sees something that we can achieve in the future, it sees something much farther for us that we can achieve if we just listen to those hunches and messages and feelings. We can achieve much more than if we're stuck in our brain. Now, our logical mind is amazing. It serves a purpose. I like to work with both. I call the feminine is more intuition, the masculine is more logic. And within all of us, we have both the feminine and masculine qualities within us. When I'm busy in doing mode, I'm in my masculine. When I'm busy, when I'm in more of my receptive being mode, I'm dropping into my feminine. And most of my company, I was in my masculine. I was very busy, starting my day at 7 in the morning, going to a networking event, working all day. I was the primary person in the company, like, you know, working in my company. I wasn't working on my company. I was like the employee doing it all, with wearing all the hats. And then after work, I'd go to a happy hour 5 to 7 event and start again. And I was very much in my masculine, which we all naturally entrepreneurs, we have to be doing, we have to be in our action. And I want to invite you to also remember to drop back into that balance, the balance of being in your feminine side too, of surrender and listening and being, to receive that guidance, to grow and to get to the next level. Also, I talk about in my book 101 dream list. And this is another invitation for you to think bigger. At a time, I felt like I had achieved all my dreams, my goals, and I became very unmotivated, a little bit down, lazier, and I had to stop. And at that time, I had someone who said to me, "Well, you don't have big enough goals." And I was kind of taken aback by that. I was like, "I have goals, but I forgot my goals. I really forgot my goals. I'm like, but I've traveled the world. I've done so many things. I started a company. I live in my dream home, all of the things. And he really encouraged me to sit and rewrite my list. And that really shifted when I was so like, I have nothing, I have no other goals, to I sat for 1 hour, just an hour, because I wanted it to be very fast. I didn't want to be in my head. I wanted things just to come through as quickly as possible. And one day I sat outside, closed my eyes, and I wrote 101 other dreams that I forgot I had. And I encourage you guys to do the same. It could be for business. It could be a little of everything. And it doesn't have to be super big goals. It can be small things as well. There's not one goal that's better than the other. It could be really, and it's all really personal to you. But it really helped for me to have more energy again. Gave me this energy to want to be more, be better, be a, bigger version of myself. And so this is another message I have for you today. I was drawn to start this nonprofit to bring together these conscious entrepreneurs, visionaries, people who are really wanting to have a huge impact and are really living in alignment with their values and their goals and their dreams and their desire to be of service to the world. And this is a community of bringing entrepreneurs and visionaries and change makers together. Our team, you're going to meet them throughout the summit. We want to create masterminds. We want to create retreats. We want to work with corporations and offer mindfulness, coaching and authentic, communication skills, and creating projects where your team can really tap into their intuition to help your company skyrocket to the next level. So thank you so much for being here today. I look forward to hearing your comments and for you reaching out. If you're interested in the VIP package, almost all of us have a really special offering. With all the speakers, you'll hear the recordings of these talks, and also our offerings. And what I have is this online program I created, which is called Reconnect to Your Intuition. And it's a 12 module series with PDFs and recordings and little videos of ways. What is intuition? What intuition is not. Resisting. We talk about why do we resist? Just levels of enlightenment, levels of consciousness, all of these different ways that we can be in the world, the ways that we can manage our company, and we can be these magnets and really attract all of the abundance and the dreams that we have for ourselves. So thank you again for joining us at the virtual summit, and I look forward to connecting with you later.